Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Sherry Sutphin. I am the magistrate for Seminole County. The way the process works is the county will present its case first. It will provide any witnesses and evidence that it has. You can cross-examine any witnesses that the county has, but you cannot present any evidence or witnesses of your own until the county has closed its case. Once it has closed its case, then you will be permitted to present any evidence or witnesses of yours for your case. I will make a determination here today. If there is in fact a violation, you will be given an amount of time to come into compliance. If you're here for a first time violation, on the particular code that you're being charged with, and you are found to have violated the code and you do not comply within the time period prescribed, you will stand to have a penalty of up to $250 a day imposed. If you are here for a repeat violation for the code that's being charged against you, you stand to have a penalty of up to $500 a day imposed against you if you do not comply within the time period prescribed. If you have an agenda in front of you, please bear with us. We kind of go, we have a method to our madness, so we go in our own order, but you will be called if you're here and you've signed in, and your case will be called even if you're not signed in. So make sure that you do get with the county, though, and let them know that you're here. Okay, I want to announce at the beginning, there are 3 cases that have been continued by the county and will not be heard. 2472 CESM, Erlin Rodriguez and Mandy Reyes Hernandez. 2501 CESM, Andre Lancaster. 2525 CESM, Kip and Heidi Hudzos. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the first case that we're going to call,
Do I leave?
if I called your name, you certainly may.
What does that mean will not be heard? I was in the court before.
Okay, it will not be heard today, but you will receive notice of a new date.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's hear 2519 CESM, Stacy and Anthony Locasio. If you'll have a seat up here, please.
Sorry. 25-18. Got a copy of the presentation for you.
Okay, before we go any further, I want to go ahead and swear in all the county witnesses who will be providing any testimony today. If you'll please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Kara, will you be giving testimony today? Nope, okay. Okay, sir, and can you please state your name for the record?
Anthony Locasio. Sorry, I'll back
Okay.
off the mic.
No, you're fine.
Anthony Locasio.
Okay, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ruth Goldstein with the Building Division. Jason Rucker and Brent Griffin are also inspectors on this case and will be providing testimony. Case 2519 CESM is for the property located at 219 Stevenage Drive in Longwood, which is owned by Stacy A. and Anthony D. Locasio. The violation charged is Seminole County Code Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of violation is installation of concrete block wall without the required permit. The next slide is the case summary. It shows that the initial inspection was conducted on March 25th, 2024. A notice was sent to the respondent on March 25th, 2024. The compliance dates and extensions that were given were April 8th, 2024 and May 16th, 2024. Follow-up inspections, as shown, both on-site and via the computer, are on the slide. And the results of those re-inspections are that the violation remains on the property. This slide shows that the property is owned by Stacy A. and Anthony D. Locasio from the Property Appraiser's website. This slide shows a copy of the certified return receipt for the notice of this hearing. It is signed by the owners. This is a photograph of the violation, the concrete block wall. This was taken April 4th, 2025. The next slide is March 12th, 2025. These were inspection photos taken then. And the next slide is from March 12th, 2025 as well. And these photos are from March 25th, 2024 and April 30th, 2024. This slide shows the permit applications that have been submitted for this parcel. The most recent one was from 2013. There are no permit applications for this scope of work submitted at this time. This is Chapter 40, in which they are in violation of. And based on the testimony and the evidence presented in case number 25-19 CESM, it's determined that the respondents are the owners of record of the property located at 219 Stevenage Drive in Longwood, Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records. They are in possession or control of the property and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It's further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondents to correct the violation on or before May 8th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my portion of the presentation, and I can introduce Jason Rucker and Brent Griffin to enter this into the record.
Okay, and who will Brent Griffin be the inspector moving forward
Yes.
for contact purposes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, would you like to submit the electronic case file into the record as evidence?
I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
Okay, can you state your name for the record, please?
I'm Brent Griffin,
Okay.
Inspector of Seminole County.
Okay. Do you have any objection to the electronic case file that's been presented here today being submitted to the record?
No, ma'am.
Okay, it will be accepted, and is that the county's case?
This concludes our presentation.
Okay. Yes, sir.
I didn't say, I'm sorry.
No, it's your turn.
If I may, I'd like to request a ruling by the magistrate that the structure needs to be permitted in the first place. I've went through the definitions of 105 and everything on the county website. This structure that we're discussing is a concrete block wall that's not load-bearing, serves no purpose other than to divide a side yard from the pool and from portions of the backyard. It doesn't support anything, doesn't hold anything, it does not attach to the main structure, and I would take issue that it needs to be permitted in the first place, since it doesn't fall under any of the descriptions described under 105.1 in the first place.
Okay, have you had any conversations with the county with respect to your opinion?
I brought it up when the inspector was there, Mr. Jason. We had a good conversation. He was very cordial, everything. Most of this is just, it's been sitting. I didn't know if I was going to complete it or not. I didn't know if I was going, when he said it was going to be a permit, I was inclined to just take it down. But my initial was, I only started it because I didn't think it needed a permit in the first place.
Okay, and you're saying under 105.1, you don't believe that it falls within the definition?
I don't see anything under here that freestanding wall that is not it's not changing the occupancy of the structure. It's not linked to the existing house. It's not an occupiable storage. It's not a shed. There's a whole rundown of structures that are required to be permitted on the county website, which I did look up before I began. And a wall of this type, purely a decorative wall, was not listed anywhere on there. It's not a fence either.
Hi,
Hi.
Jason Rucker, Seminole County Inspector. The first sentence, any owner or authorized agent who intends to construct. That is construction. If you had blocks stacked up like they come from the factory, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That is a wall that was constructed. So that's in the very first sentence of our definition out of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, 105.1.
I take issue with that, Magistrate. That's part of the larger sentence which continues and is modified, or change the occupancy of a building or structure. I did not construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure. And I did not erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any impact-resistant coverings, electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system. And I would like to read the entire Constitution now and declare myself habeas corpus non-compos mentis. Thank you.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the silence was really getting to me there.
Okay.
That was good.
I'm reading. Sorry, I apologize.
I'm married to that man.
This
I
is all
understand.
me. She has nothing to do with it.
I understand why you didn't come and sit with him now. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm moral support. Been that way for 20 years, sir.
So what do you have to say about his response to it? If you got to read the rest, you can't just say any owner who intends to construct. Because you do have to read the rest.
Well, I'm not an English major, but the commas indicate what is the requirement for each item that could be a violation. So just because it says "or," changing the occupancy, that's just an additional item along with these other items of how it was written into the Seminole County Code. I'm not an attorney, so
Okay, so you're saying, and I tend to agree with this, that final modifier, so meaning who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of, finished, and then each one of those things go to a building or structure.
correct.
So to construct a building or structure, enlarge a building or structure, alter a building or structure, repair a building or structure, demolish a building or structure, or change the occupancy of a building or structure. And then, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair. So I do agree with that, that's the interpretation. So if you're intending to construct this wall, then I believe it requires a permit. If you are going to demolish it and remove it altogether, then I think it doesn't require a permit because you haven't gotten a permit to construct it, so they'd let you remove it without permits. But if you are going to leave it there, you do need to have a permit.
I have brought the required paperwork to file a permit as
Okay.
necessary.
Okay, so do you think you can have everything filed by May 8th?
I have everything right here. I can file it today.
Okay. Well, then, I'm going to let you do that so that you have some time. We'll go ahead and ask you to make sure that you come into compliance by May 8th, as requested by the county. There will be a compliance hearing on May 9th, so if you haven't done it, you need to remain in contact with Jason, so that or Brent, so that you make sure that they recognize that you're in compliance. And if you do not have the permit for the wall by May 8th, you will have a penalty of $250 a day imposed.
Now, if it gets returned with requests for additional information or, modify revisions, am I considered in compliance as long as I'm actively working to secure the permit?
No, however, if you are doing all of those things and you come back before me and they let me know that you have at all times kept in communication with them, then I am absolutely going to recognize that and give you more time. Okay?
So either way, we have to come back.
Okay.
All right?
No, for clarification, I don't have to come back if I secure the permit.
If you secure the permit and the county is comfortable with that, then they do have fees and costs that are usually generated. However, if a person complies by the first time that I give them the date, they know that I like to see that. And so, you need to be in contact with the county, but so it will be up to you and your communications with the county on whether you need to return. Okay? That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next case is 2555 CESM Maribel and Elsa Mercado Musa.
Parentheses, thank you.
2455.
Is this so long? Okay. Ruth Goldstein, Building Division. This case was originally heard by the special magistrate on September 12th, 2024, with an order that was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of November 13th, 2024, with a meeting scheduled for November 14th, 2024. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on November 13th, 2024. On November 14th, 2024, the special magistrate issued an order extending the compliance date to April 9th, 2025, with a meeting scheduled for April 10th, 2025. The administrative cost to process this case for the clerk totals $151.92. The administrative cost to process this case for the inspector totals $556.12. And the administrative cost to process this case in total, $708.04. The building official has reviewed this case and is recommending that he's open to a 30-day continuance or to impose or to have the special magistrate issue an order constituting a lien retroactively to April 9th, 2025 at $50 a day, which continues to accrue until he is in compliance. The building official was open to a 30-day continuance based on the fact that the respondent has reached out to the building department and is currently in the process of obtaining a permit.
So let me get the building official to give me that, or the building inspector to give me that testimony about the continuance, please.
This is the metal building. Oh, Brent was in a meeting. He just said he'd be willing to continue at 30 days based on that.
Yes, I take no objection to continue in this case for 30 days, as according to the building official's request.
Okay, so, and the building official isn't here. He's given you all, I mean, I need to have testimony from the person rather than a note from the building official, so it's got to be one or the other. So
Okay.
if he's going to give testimony, he can't give it through you all. He has to give it himself. But if there is a reason that the county is requesting the continuance, then you can testify to that if you have that information.
Well, then we would need to,
So I can request a 30-day continuance because he has been working with us, and I don't mind doing that.
Okay.
Jason Rucker, Seminole County Inspector,
Okay,
will do that.
okay. Sir, do you have anything you want to add?
No, to be honest with you, this process has been interesting to learn. First of all, my name is Dr. Yasser Musa. I'm the husband of Maribel Mercado Musa.
Okay, let me swear you in. I apologize.
Yes, that's all right.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So the process has been a learning experience, to say the least, but the county has been phenomenal, and it's been a very good conversation and continual knowledge passed through me because, to be honest with you, I don't know anything about this. I'm just trying to learn. So yeah, I would appreciate if 30-day continuance would be given to me by Your Honor, please, so I can finish up and pay there were some corrections done that they were required, and that's basically what are we, I think, waiting for.
Okay, and you think that you can accomplish that within the next 30 days?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and continue this matter to May 8th. Your new compliance date will be May 8th with a compliance hearing on May 9th. Oh, sorry, I apologize. May 7th is your compliance date. And there will be a hearing on May 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
That last one I did at May 8th was the compliance date. Did I say, I said compliance of May 8th too, though. But normally we were doing the day before, so they've got to be cognizant of that in the morning to check it. Okay. Okay. Okay, the next case, 2462 CESM, Mount Zion Baptist Church of Midway.
this is another one I'm just going to read for the agenda. I think, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you can scroll through it if you want. Okay.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Okay.
Can I get you to raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ruth Goldstein, Building Division. This is for case 24-62, CESM. This case was originally heard by the special magistrate on September 12th, 2024, with an order issued giving the respondent a compliance date of November 13th, 2024, with a meeting scheduled for November 14th, 2024. On November 14th, 2024, an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of February 12th, 2025, with a meeting scheduled for February 13th, 2025. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed by the inspector after reinspection on February 12th, 2025. And on February 13th, 2025, an order was issued giving the respondent a compliance date of April 9th with a meeting scheduled for April 10th, 2025. The administrative cost to process this case for the clerk totals $188.15. The administrative cost for the inspector totals $577.21. And the administrative cost in total for both the clerk and the inspector is $765.36. County recommendation is a special magistrate issue an order constituting a lien retroactively back to April 9th, 2025 at $50 per day and continuing to accrue until compliance. After recent review by the building inspector, Brent Griffin, with the building official, determined that they would be,
If Brent Griffin's here, Brent Griffin
Okay.
needs to provide the testimony.
Just say that you're willing to give them 30 days.
I'm willing to give them 30 days.
If you'll, Mr. Griffin, please state your name for the record.
I'm Brent Griffin with Seminole County Building Division.
Okay. So, sir, if you'll state your name, please, for the record.
Johnny Perry.
And do you think that you can accomplish what needs to be accomplished within 30 days?
Yes, we been working on getting the contract, and Ruth has been working with us. Yes, we can get it done.
Okay, and so we've given a couple of continuances, and I'm certainly fine doing that as long as you're continuing to work with the county. And so any requests of the county that are being made, I need you to continue working with them, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I will continue the matter until May 7th with a compliance hearing on May 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case, 2508 CESM 1815 Larkin Avenue LLC. If you, if you'll just,
Oh, yeah, here,
have a seat. Oh, okay, sure. Okay.
Just leave it be. This is a lien hearing, so this is the multi-unit.
Okay, sir, can you please state your name for the record and raise your right hand?
Yes, my name is Andres Ospina.
Okay, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Ruth Goldstein, Building Division. Case 25-08 CESM at 1824 Lake Street. Lake Street. The property owner is 1815 Larkin, Ave LLC, yes. On February 13th, 2025, the special magistrate issued an order giving the respondent a compliance date of April 9th, 2025, with a meeting scheduled for April 10th, 2025. The administrative cost to process this case for the clerk totals $108.41. The administrative cost for the inspector totals $636.60. And the administrative cost to process this case for both the clerk and the inspector is $745.01. The recommendation is the special magistrate issues an order constituting a lien retroactively to April 9th, 2025 at $250 per day and continuing to accrue until in compliance.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Yes, so we've been working to get the plans from the contractor, and That's pretty much what we have so far. We're probably 90 to 95% there. And it's been a little bit of a challenge to coordinate with all the different contractors, because I basically hired a general contractor that pulled the main permit. But then we also have to deal with the mechanical, the electrical, and they don't really seem to communicate well. But that's pretty much what we have there, and we're almost ready to essentially submit those plans. I think we're waiting on one final thing from the electrician, so he has to go back to the property and give me basically one final change, and we should be able to submit. So I'm thinking that hopefully within 90 days, we should be able to get this submitted, and hopefully we'll get, an inspector to go out there and make sure that everything is up to code, and hopefully we'll be closed.
So even just to get the permit, you think it'll take 90 days?
No,
Not
I would
full
say-
sign off?
I would say the full, yeah.
Okay.
I would say probably within a week or 2 weeks, we should be able to submit those plans, and hopefully within the 90 days from today, we should be able to actually get it closed out.
Has the county had communication with them at all?
We have, they do have a permit application in process, which is shown on the screen. This workflow, this report was generated April 10th, so just this morning. There's a mechanical plan review comment there that he just testified he is actively working on. And the bottom half of the screen shows that it has been accepted, the task has been accepted by the applicant, which indicates that they are currently working on it as recently as March 24th, 2025.
Okay, so then the plans that have been, the copy of the plans that were provided to me are already in the county's possession?
That I cannot testify to. I'm not sure if those are exactly the ones that are in E-Plan right now, but I do know that they have an
There's
active.
something there,
yep.
okay. And is this set that you brought today, is it different from what the county is currently reviewing?
We have not submitted that to the county yet.
Okay.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
And I can certainly accept it into evidence, but I've taken your testimony and I've seen it. If you want to take these back, you certainly can, because you'll submit the actuals to the county. I think that's probably a better process, if that's okay with you.
Right.
I do appreciate you bringing and showing your progress. Do you all think that 30 days would give him what he needs to accomplish the permit side of things?
If the corrected plans address the comments that were submitted for the mechanical and the electrical plan review, the review cycle typically takes a week or so.
Okay, and you think you can probably submit your finals within a week or so
I would
as
say,
well?
yeah, 1 to 2 weeks, we should be
Okay.
able to submit.
Then I think May 7th would give you the time that you need in order to do that, so I'm going to continue to May 7th. Noting that you haven't had any prior continuances, and you really have only been working on this for a couple months, so I do appreciate you being diligent on that. Okay, so if you'll continue to stay in communication with the county, I'll continue to May 7th, your compliance date meeting May 7th now, with a hearing date set for May 8th.
Okay,
Thank you,
sounds good, thank you.
and I'll give those back to you. Thank you. No one else is here? That's all, everyone? Okay. All right, and we'll start over from the top. All right, 2505 CESM, Sonia Hurtado.
Hurtado, which one's Hurtado? 25-5, please. This is a new case, right?
Ruth Goldstein, Building Division. Case 25-5 CESM is for the property located at 3408 Gleaves Court, Apopka, which is owned by Sonia C. Hurtado. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of violation is installation of a mini-split AC unit without the required permit. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was conducted February 12th, 2024. A notice to respondent was sent February 15th, 2024. We gave them 2 compliance dates and extensions, February 29th, 2024 and March 21st, 2024. Follow-up inspections as shown, both on site and via computer. Results of the re-inspections were that the violation remains on the property. The screenshot is from the property appraiser's website showing that Sonia Hurtado is the record owner of the property. This is a copy of the certified return receipt for the notice of this hearing, as signed by the owner. The next slides are going to show photos of the mini split. These in particular were taken January 30th, 2025. It's that little unit right there by the red arrow, and then a closer up shot of it on the right. The next slide are taken from a distance. It's a little bit more difficult to see, but it is still on the property as of April 4th, 2025. This screen shows that no permits have been applied for or issued to correct the violation. There are other permits shown on this screen from 2023 to 2025. Those are not related to the scope of work associated with this violation. This is a copy of Chapter 40, in which they're in violation of. And the recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 25-5 CESM. It's determined that the respondent is the owner of record of the property located at 3408 Glebes Court, Apopka in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records. They're in possession of and control of the property and in violation of Seminole County Code Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It's further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before June 11th, 2025. In order to correct this violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. This concludes my portion of the presentation, and I can introduce Brent Griffin is the inspector.
I'm Brent Griffin, Seminole County Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and requested it entered into the record.
Okay, I'll accept the electronic case file into the record. I will find that the respondent has been properly noticed to be here today and is not present. I will find that the county has presented evidence to show a violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1, and I will set a compliance date of June 11th, 2025, with a compliance hearing of June 12th, 2025, or a fine in the amount of $250 a day will be imposed. Thank you. The next case is 2526 CESM, Jeffrey Phelan. Sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Jeffrey Fallon.
I apologize for mispronouncing it. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Ruth Goldstein, Building Division. Case 25-26 CESM is for the property located at 313 Gary Boulevard in Longwood, Seminole County. This is owned by Jeffrey Phelan. The violation charged is Seminole County Code Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. Description of violation is installation of 3 sheds without the required permit. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was conducted December 7th, 2023. Notice to the respondent was sent on December 7th, 2023. The slide shows compliance dates and extensions that were granted. and follow-up inspections as shown both on-site visit and via computer. And the results of those re-inspections are that the violation remains on the property. This screenshot shows the property is owned by Jeffrey Phelan, per the property appraiser website's records. And this is a copy of the received certified return receipt for the notice of this hearing. It was signed by the owner on March 13th, 2025, and received on March 17th, 2025. The next several slides will show photos of the violation. These were the 3 sheds taken on April 4th, 2025. These were taken February 14th, 2024, and March 25th, 2024. Into more photos from an inspection April 25th, 2024, and July 18th, 2024. These are aerial image. The next set of slides are going to show aerial image to document the progression of the construction on the property. The slide on the left is an aerial image taken from December 31st, 2012. That is a shed that was originally installed and permitted with the building department in 2004. The image on the right is from January 17th, 2015, which shows that the shed that was permitted in '04 has now been removed and new structures are being built on the property. Next slide. The aerial image on the left is from May 12th, 2017, and the aerial image on the right is from December 22nd, 2020, showing 3 structures installed on the property. The image on the left is dated November 16th, 2024, and the image on the right is dated November 22nd, 2024, to show these 3 structures. This screen shows no permits have been applied for or issued to correct the violation. This is a copy of Chapter 40 in which they're in violation of. And the recommendation is based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 2526 CESM. It's determined that the respondent is the owner of record of the property located at 313 Gary Boulevard in Longwood, Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records. He's in possession or control of the property and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It is further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before June 11th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permit for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. Brent Griffin is the inspector assigned to this case. He can come up here. Thank you.
I'm Brent Griffin, Seminole County Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request to be entered into the record.
Okay. Do you have any objection to the electronic case file being submitted into the record?
No, it's fine.
Okay. All right. I will accept it. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So I didn't actually build any of this stuff. I bought this house in November of 2022. All of these structures were already in place, so I didn't know that they required a permit. That was the problem. I went and got a fence permit so I could replace the fence, and that's when I found out that these were a violation. The reason I haven't done anything about it is simply the cost. So I spent over $3,000 getting a variance approved for this, which they did approve the variance so they could remain where they are. But they want engineer drawings that were like $5,000 to get for all 3, and I just don't have the money.
Okay, so how long do you think it will take you to get what you need in order to get the permits?
I'll try for June 11th, but I can't make any promises.
Well, I am not in the business of setting you up for failure. I would rather...
The more time you can give me, the better, is really where I'm at with it right now.
Well, in coming into compliance, the initial time is more important to me than...
Than getting it all finished.
Right, than giving you a date that you can't...
The problem is I can't even apply for a permit without the engineer drawings because of the size of them, and I don't have any, like, purchase record of where they were bought or anything like that, so I need to get an engineer in here.
And you have... do we have evidence that he has gone through the variance process on this, this?
313 Gary Boulevard. All the variance, like the plaque they gave me is all posted on the property and everything.
Okay, so you're set for May for the hearing or for April? So if you've posted it, you're for this month?
No, they gave this to me, I did this over the summer, I got the variance done. They told me the variance didn't expire, the permit did, but I never got a permit, so I didn't think I was like under a timeline.
Was the variance for the fence?
The variance is for the structures, not the fence. The fence permit has been closed out and taken care of.
So variants run with the property, so they don't, Megan Zanorski for the record. So variances don't expire. So if the variance has been obtained, then he just needs to apply for the permit.
Can you all tell if he has applied for the variance? I think that is crucial to me from the standpoint of if he's
Absolutely.
gone through that process, that's showing
Oh,
very,
I definitely did get the variance. Like I said, it's posted on the yard and everything.
okay.
I didn't know that. Did you know that? I didn't know there was a variance. I didn't know.
So he was approved in June of 2024 for a side yard setback variance and another side yard setback variance and a rear yard setback variance for 2 accessory structures.
Okay, and then maybe is the third accessory structure not, it's not necessary?
No, they were all on that, like, that's why it was $3,000. I had to apply for it for every single one. So everything that was supposed to be, needed a variance, it's all on there.
So 2 side yard and a rear yard, so maybe that's
Right,
all
so
three?
it's 2 sides and a rear, so that they were all covered for
Okay.
the both structures.
Okay. Okay. Then I find that you have really tried to go through this process in good faith, and I understand the
I'm
expense of
doing
it.
everything I can. I didn't really plan to be paying this much money for something that was already there when I purchased the property.
And that, unfortunately, is, even though you buy a piece of property and it has those kind of structures, that's why you should run any kind of municipal search to find
Well,
out.
nothing came up because there was no permit ever applied for.
Oh.
So like when title they did their research on it and everything showed fine because there was no permit issued for it. So it's not like it was an open permit or a violation. They were
No,
just-
but when there's a structure on a piece of property that you're buying, you want to make sure that it's permitted.
Well,
always.
that was my first home purchase, so I wasn't aware of that. Going forward, obviously, now I am, so.
Absolutely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you until October 8th. So I'm going to give you 6 months to
Yeah, I think I'll be able to get it done by then.
get this taken care of. I think by having the variance in place, you're showing your good faith, and I will, you'll have a compliance hearing on October 9th, and if you do not comply by October 8th, you'll have a fine of $100 a day imposed.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, 2520 CESM, Lakai Foundation LLC. Oh, goodness. 2520. Okay, so tell me, okay, which is, who is who on share for, which ones are which?
I am 25-23 only. Cameron has the remaining 3.
Okay, all right, perfect. And Cameron, were you sworn in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good deal.
Thank you. Good to go. Good to go. So, Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Adair, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. This is case number 2520, CESM. The respondents are Lakai Foundation LLC, Jackietta Pierce, the registered agent, and Tiffany N. Brown, Liz Pendis. The violation is located at 701 Blue Lake Drive in Longwood, Florida, Seminole County. The violation charge is Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3, F, stagnant water. My initial inspection was on August 16th, 2024. The notices to respondents were August 16th and September 3rd, 2024. Compliance dates were set for September 3rd and September 19th, 2024. Follow-up inspections were on September 3rd, September 19th, 2024, and yesterday, April 9th, 2025. The results of the follow-up inspection is the stagnant or foul water violation remains on subject property. This is an image taken by me on my initial inspection, August 16th, 2024. It shows the stagnant water in the pool. This is a follow-up inspection on September 3rd, 2024. You can't really see the water, but it is still stagnant. This is another follow-up inspection picture taken by me on September 19th, 2024. The water has risen due to the rain, still remains stagnant. And this is the most recent inspection as of yesterday, April 9th, 2025, depicting the water still remains stagnant. The suggested recommendation is, based on testimony and evidence presented in case number 2520 CESM, it is determined that the respondents, Lakai Foundation LLC, Jackietta Pierce, and Tiffany N. Brown, are the owners of record of the property located at 701 Blue Lake Drive, located in Longwood, as determined by the property appraiser's records, are in possession or control of the property, and are in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3F, stagnant water. It is further recommended that the special magistrate issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of April 25th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove or clear the stagnant water from the pool. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $250 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondents must contact me to arrange for an inspection of the property to verify compliance. I would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit 1. This concludes my presentation.
I'll accept the electronic case file into the record. So have you looked in the bankruptcy records? Because this is a suggestion of bankruptcy. I don't see the Liz Pendens that you're talking about. I don't have a Liz Pendens. I don't think so. Wait. Oh, okay. So it appears to me like there was a foreclosure action that was filed. However, the request for a motion for summary judgment was withdrawn, and I'm thinking it was because of the suggestion of bankruptcy. And Tiffany Brown would not be the owner. She's an attorney. So the Loan Fund LLC is the Liz Pendens holder. But was notice sent to Tiffany Brown?
Yes.
And was it sent to Tiffany Brown with reference to the lis pendens. And there's been no contact whatsoever by anyone?
No, ma'am.
Do you all have abatement abilities, like an abatement fund to go on and secure something like this?
So the pool has already been secured, yes.
Oh, it has been?
Yes, as
Okay.
of March 27th,
By you all?
by the county, yes.
And the stagnant water is still present even after it
Yes.
being secured? How did the county secure it?
A chain link fence with no openings, just chain link around it.
Okay. My concern is whether I can lien property that is under a suggestion of bankruptcy. So I'm going to find that the property is in violation. Well, first, I'm going to find that the property owner has been properly noticed to be here today, as well as the mortgage holder has been properly noticed to be here today as well, and no one is present. I'm going to find that the property is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4. And then as defined in Section 95.3F. And I'm going to find that the property be brought into compliance by April 25th, 2025, as requested, due to the health, safety, and welfare issues associated with the violation. Or I'm going to impose a fine of $250 a day, reserving as to whether a lien will be imposed based on additional research that I will do. However, we will have a compliance hearing on May 8th to determine whether there was compliance by April 25th. And at that time, I will rule as to whether a lien can be imposed against the property. Thank you.
Thank you.
While I still have you, 2521 CESM.
Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Dare, Seminole County Sheriff's Office South Region. This is case number 2521 CESM. The respondents are the Lakai Foundation LLC, Jackie Etta Pierce, the registered agent, and Tiffany Ann Brown, lis pendens. The violation is located at 701 Blue Lake Drive, Longwood, Florida, Seminole County. The violation charge, Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 14, Section 30.14.19L, fences. All fences shall be maintained in their upright original condition. My initial inspection was on August 16th, 2024. Notices to respondents were on August 16th and September 3rd, 2024. Compliance dates were set for September 3rd and September 19th, 2024. And the follow-up inspections were September 3rd, September 19th, 2024, and yesterday, April 9th, 2025. Results of the inspections were the violation of dilapidated fence remains on the subject property. These are images from my initial inspection on August 16, 2024, depicting that the fence gate and some portions of the fence were dilapidated and temporarily secured with orange mesh fence. Follow-up inspection on August 3rd, 2024, and it shows the same thing. Follow-up inspection on August 19th, 2024. It shows the same images. And this is a recent inspection of yesterday, April 9th, 2025. And it shows that the fence has become more dilapidated, and a previous attempt to fix it with the mesh fencing has been done, but not by myself. And that's when I found out that the county has secured the pool. The suggested recommendation is, based on testimony and evidence presented in the case number 2521 CESM, it is determined that the respondents, Lakai Foundation LLC, Jackie Pierce and Tiffany Ann Brown, are the owners of record of property located at 701 Blue Lake Drive, located in Longwood, as determined by the property appraiser's records, in possession or control of the property, and are in violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 14, Section 30.14.19L, fences. It is further recommended that the special magistrate issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of April 25th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove or repair the dilapidated fence to its upright original condition. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $100 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. I would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk as Exhibit A. Stamps to approve it.
What about the 812 United Court, Aberdeen, Maryland, an address that's in the property appraiser's records? Was not anything ever sent there? These addresses aren't to that, though. They're Davenport. The Aberdeen ones, these were received, and hers was received, but this, the registered agent, okay. That was just that, okay. Okay. I'm going to accept the electronic case file into the record. I'm going to find that the property owner was properly noticed to be here, as well as the attorney for the lien holder on the property has been properly noticed to be here. Neither are present and participated in the hearing. I'm going to find that there is a violation of Seminole County Land Development Code, Chapter 30, Part 14, Section 30.14.9. I'm going to find that for the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Seminole County, that the property be brought into compliance by April 25th, 2025, or a fine in the amount of $250 a day will be imposed, with the same reservation as to whether a fine can actually be imposed because of the suggestion of bankruptcy that's been filed. And I'm going to schedule a compliance hearing for May 8th. Thank you. The next case, 2522 CESM.
Code Enforcement Officer Cameron Adair, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, South Region. This is case number 2522 CSM. The respondents are Lakai Foundation LLC, Jackietta Pierce, Registered Agent, Tiffany N. Brown, Liz Pendens. The violation is located at 701 Blue Lake Drive, Longwood, Florida, Seminole County. Violation charge, Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3B, uncultivated vegetation. My initial inspection was on August 16, 2024. Notices to respondents were on August 16th and September 3rd, 2024. Compliance dates were set for September 3rd and September 19th, 2024. And follow-up inspections were September 3rd, September 19th, 2024, and yesterday, April 9th, 2025. The results of the inspections were the violation of uncultivated vegetation remains on subject property. This is an image from my initial inspection on August 16th, 2024. You can see the grass is over 8 inches in height. Follow-up inspection on September 3rd, 2024. The backyard remains in the same condition of being overgrown, but it looks like the HOA or something had cut the front yard.
The county has not cut the grass?
No.
Okay.
This is a follow-up inspection on September 19th, 2024. Same state, the uncultivated vegetation remains. And this is a follow-up inspection of yesterday, April 9th, 2025. You can see the vegetation remains more in a decayed, dead state, but it still remains. The suggested recommendation is based on testimony and evidence presented in case number 2522 CESM. It is determined that the respondents, Lakai Foundation LLC, Jackietta Pierce, and Tiffany N. Brown are the owners of record of property located at 701 Blue Lake Drive, located in Longwood, as determined by the property appraiser records, are in possession or control of the property, and are in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3B, uncultivated vegetation. It is further recommended that the special magistrate issue an order for the respondents to correct the violation on or before midnight of April 25th, 2025. In order to correct the violation, the respondents must remove all uncultivated vegetation in excess of 8 inches in height from the property. If the respondents do not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed for each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. I would like to submit a copy of this PowerPoint presentation to the clerk.
The electronic case file will be accepted into the record. I'm going to find that the property owner and the attorney for the lender have been properly noticed to be here today, and they are not present or participating. I'm going to find that the property owner is in violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 95, Section 95.4, as defined in 95.3B, uncultivated vegetation. For the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Seminole County, I'm going to find that the property be brought into compliance by April 25th, 2025, or incur a fine of $250 a day with a compliance hearing date of May 8th, reserving again the possibility of not imposing a lien if, because of the suggestion of bankruptcy that has been filed. And I will add that if the county does, in fact, abate the vegetation on the property, that they would come into compliance as of that date that the county has abated. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. 2523 CESM.
Ruth Goldstein, Building Division. Case 25-23 CESM is for the property located at 701 Blue Lake Drive in Longwood, which is owned by the Lakai Foundation LLC. The violation charged is Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. The description of the violation is installation of exterior siding, replacement of windows and doors, including reducing the size of the masonry openings with framing and demolition work of concrete masonry unit, interior alterations, including but not limited to mechanical, electrical, and plumbing without the required permits. The case summary is as follows. The initial inspection was conducted April 12, 2024, with a notice to the respondent sent on April 12, 2024. There were multiple compliance dates and extensions provided by the county. Follow-up inspections as shown both on-site visit and via computer. The results of the re-inspections are that the violations remain on the property. This screenshot is from the Property Appraiser's Office website showing that Lakai Foundation LLC is the record owner of the property. These are copies of the received certified return receipts for the notices of this hearing. These are photographs of the exterior alterations which were taken April 4th, 2025. These photographs were taken during the inspection on April 12, 2024, which highlight the window replacements, the CMU work, and exterior alterations. And these photos were also taken during the inspection on April 12, 2024, showing the window replacements, CMU work, and exterior alterations. These photographs were taken on the inspection April 22, 2024, to show the interior alterations that have been completed. Additional photos of the interior alterations taken April 22nd, 2024. And finally, exterior alterations which were taken May 13th, 2024. This screen shows that no permits have been applied for or issued in relation to this violation. No permits have been issued. The permits that have been issued, which are on the screen, are not in relation to the scope of work completed. This is a copy of Chapter 40, which they're in violation of. And the county recommendation is that based on the testimony and evidence presented in case number 25-23 CESM, it's determined that the respondent is the record owner of the property located at 701 Blue Lake Drive, Longwood in Seminole County, as determined by the property appraiser's records. They are in possession or control of the property and in violation of the Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It's further recommended that the special magistrate order the respondent to correct the violation on or before April 21st, 2025. In order to correct this violation, the respondent shall obtain the required permits for the cited violation. If the respondent does not comply with the order, a fine of $50 will be imposed each day the violation continues or is repeated after compliance. The respondent must contact the inspector to verify compliance. Brent Griffin is the inspector assigned to this case. This concludes my portion of the presentation. I invite Brent Griffin up to complete the presentation.
I'm Brent Griffin, Seminole County Building Inspector. I have presented a copy of this presentation to the clerk and request it be entered into the record.
Thank you. The electronic case file will be accepted into the record. I'm going to find that the property owner and the attorney for the lender have both been properly noticed to be here today, are not present to participate. I'm going to find that the county has provided evidence of a violation of Seminole County Code, Chapter 40, Appendix A, Section 105.1. It appears to me that no one is living in the home, so I'm going to give them until May 7th, 2025 to come into compliance with the permits, and if not, a fine of $250 a day will be imposed. I'm going to set a compliance hearing for May 8th, 2025, reserving ruling until that time, obviously, as to whether a lien can be placed based on the suggestion of bankruptcy that has been filed in this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and I believe we have just one more under old business, 2043 CESM, Nineveh Castillo.
Sounds good to me. Funny story. I'll wait till we're off the record. My hair dye has exploded in my hair. And now my greasy, disgusting hair that hasn't been washed in 3 days is about to be all over the place. I'm trying to not move any muscle in my body.
Okay, so could you, have you been sworn? Let me swear. State your name for the record.
Alexis Viant.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. And so it's my understanding that the county is requesting additional time to finalize this matter and are requesting a continuance of the compliance date to May 7th, 2025. Is that correct?
The respondent is currently in compliance. The
Okay.
county originally thought that she was going to need more time before this current meeting, so had already continued before she came into compliance. So she has been notified to come here for May 8th meeting.
Because the county was going to request additional time from me at that
Yes.
time? Okay. Well, it's a good thing I'm giving it to you, right? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Yes, I will continue the case till May 7th, 2025, the compliance date. Thank you.
Sorry. Soccer field.
All right, that's it. We'll go ahead and set our next meeting for May 8th, 2025. Oh, good stuff.